Guys, this today is Mangrove Ecosystem Conservation Day, and today is also the start of the Mangrove Marathon, starting in Abuja and ending in Wari. So there's a whole lot that's going on in terms of mangrove conservation, restoration, and I'm glad to be part of it, courtesy of my able father, Mr. Henry Erikoa. So, anyways, what I want to talk about is how maybe we look at it and say, oh, mangroves, they don't really have anything to do with me. Actually, you have a lot, especially we from the Niger Delta. We have a lot to do with mangroves. Basically, we are mangrove people. Um, our coastal areas are filled with mangroves, and Nigeria is one of the largest one of the largest one of the countries with the largest mangrove in the world, and there's not very much that's been talked about it. But what I really want to point out, even as a researcher and as someone who has an idea of why we conserve and restore mangroves, because of the biodiversity. It prevents flooding, it prevents erosion. For those in the environment field, you would hear a lot of things about blue carbon. So mangrove sinks helps us to absorb those carbons that we emit with all the man-made things that we say we do. For people like us who live by the refinery in Wari, mangrove is actually helpful to us, because many a times when you see those toxic things in the air is brown, the air is black. Mangrove actually is supposed to be helping us. And so there's air pollution, and if you know right now, air pollution is one of the rising causes of according to research, is something that affects us in terms of from children, even from women who are trying to conceive, to adults. So you're having, from conception, you're having preterm birth, you're having diabetes, you're having more cardiovascular diseases, cancer. So imagine if you preserve and you conserve and restore your mangroves, we will be helping to reduce the environmental impacts of all our man-made activities that we do. And also, for mangroves is a source of food for a lot of people. You've got the what do you call it? You've got the coast, whereby they have all the seafood. For us, I might call some of them in Shakiri names. You have kweku, you have the you have all the fishes, the bunga, you have all crayfish, all kinds of shrimps, lobsters, and all that. That's sustainable livelihood for a lot of people. But also with the oil spillage, and with the polluted water, and with the rising tides that is also happening, and would you say global warming may not be affecting us, rising temperature, but with all this that I've mentioned, a lot of people get to shift away. And also that conflicts that has happened in a couple of years, where people have migrated from the coastal regions to the more in the inlands where there is land, like places like Wari. So they've abandoned the coast, they're looking for better opportunities. And when you come to Wari is overcrowded, there's really nothing for you to do. The fish you will be selling to people that are going to Wari, you are now scrambling and looking for how to look for a house, or what to do, where to stay, how to get on with your life. And a lot of people get frustrated and might turn to the life of crime or something. And it becomes a circle whereby you get into the police net, you become a nuisance to the society, in quote. And the society, what happens to society then stigmatizes you. Then you come out of the police net, in quotes, being reformed. You might become a loyalist to one of the leaders, who, instead of him to develop his place, the leader is going to rather be spending the money on himself, or in the urban area that he is in, because he thinks, what's the point of going back to the coast? What's the point of going back to the coastal region? And also, what might happen is the leaders and all who are kind of getting alive in what they are doing, they will then go back and start destroying the mangroves and saying, we are developing the place, we don't need mangrove, we just need to sandfill most of the places. So what happens is you cut down all the mangroves, which is very, very essential to your health as a human being, essential to your soil, essential to the livelihood. And then they build all sorts of things, and then they kind of complain like, oh, there's not this, there's no that. And then they try to bring out industry. Some of the industries cause more man-made activities. So that's that's just a circle of how mangroves can affect our lives. And I'm just saying it because I feel like, oh, there's no time to like explain a lot. But in all honesty, those of us in the coast, we need to start learning how to think about the environment, because the environment has impact. So you might say, oh, I'm a guy, it might not affect me. It might affect your mom, it might affect your dad, it might affect you as a woman. A lot of air pollution happens in our side as well, especially people who are doing bunkering and you're burning those places. If you don't have mangroves, all those your carbon will just be in the air. Your wives are going to have hormonal disbalance. Your children are going to have low lung capacity. They won't be able to breathe well. You start having a lot of asthma, you start having a lot of cancer. One funny thing is that you would not know. You would think it's just sickness, so you will be doing cutting, traditional method of treatment. The igbadudu that you're supposed to use to make out tea or salt or all those things for you to actually take care of yourself, you might not have them again. So, and there's no health center for you in the coast. So you, before you get to the nearest health center, the person would have died, or you'd acclaim it to Najuju or village people. So there's a whole lot about mangroves, which it's very interesting that people like Coastal and Marine Areas Development Initiative, CIMADI, is trying to raise awareness and raise people's attention that please don't just carry and cut the mangroves. Please, let's talk about the place. It's beautiful. When you go through with the speedboat, the mangroves are really, really beautiful. They give you salt, they give you tea, they give you your ikemu, they give you, I don't know, there are so many things they give you, and it's just amazing. So this is just to encourage people who are from the coastal parts of Nigeria, the Niger Delta especially, who have massive mangroves. Please pay attention to them. See, God didn't create them so that we can destroy them. God gave us for a purpose. So yeah.